Hogwarts Legacy DLC is happening. Finally, some good gaming news.
Hogwarts Legacy DLC might actually be happening. According to a new insider report, Hogwarts Legacy is set to get a new definitive edition and it's currently in development. So today,
The hell is a definitive edition? Is that DLC? No, that's not what DLC stands for. Downloadable content. I don't care about the definitive edition. I want DLC. Everyone wants DLC. And again, there was very little chance that the DLC is not going to happen because DLC for the best-selling game of a year probably is going to make a lot of money because making a DLC is substantially less expensive than actually making a game. And typically, you can expect a 20% guaranteed return for people who come back. Unless you're Starfield, in which case that's roughly 5 to 6, maybe 7% tops, and it's really bad. But a normal game should expect at least a 25% people return rate when they publish DLC. Minimum. So it's really good money.
we're going to dive into that report. We're going to talk about what kind of content could be included in that definitive edition. Will there be new story quests? Will there be new side quests? When is this thing going to get unveiled? And when could we actually get it released? We're going to talk about all of that and more. So check the video chapters for easy viewing and let's dive in. So it seems like Hogwarts...
Does Professor Godlick smell like Godlick the mini game? That's right, boys.
Hogwarts Legacy is finally going to be the gift that gives. We've been waiting quite a while for any new content to be added to the game. And outside of a photo mode with some other features, it's been a pretty dry time to be a Hogwarts Legacy fan, but we have some news today that should surely get you excited or at least get you hopeful for the potential of DLC coming to this game. So this news is coming from Insider Gaming. They're a reputable source that has gotten quite a few things right. They usually don't run on a story unless they have a somewhat reliable source. Now, if we turn to the Insider Gaming website, they have a report up on there right now that states exclusive Hogwarts Legacy Definitive Edition is in development. Now, if you guys remember right, the current rumblings is that Hogwarts Legacy's had a director's cut in the works, and it was being co-developed by Rocksteady Games after the unfortunate failure of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Well, they stopped.
That does sound horrible and bad, to be completely honest.
Stopped working on that game and then started working on a director's cut. Well, it seems like that director's cut is now a definitive edition, which is pretty exciting. So the Insider Gaming report then continues on to say, Insider Gaming understands that a Hogwarts Legacy definitive edition is in development. Its content will be sold as separate DLC for those with the existing game, and the definitive edition is said to have around 10 to 15 hours of additional content with a new...
Whoa, 10 to 15 hours as DLC? That sounds way too good, not gonna lie. Because 10 to 15 hours is the length of a game nowadays. And some people want it to be more, but honestly, I'm not... I'm okay paying $50 for a game that has only like a 6-hour or 7-hour campaign that's good and fun and I like it. Okay, I don't think a campaign necessarily needs to be like 20 hours of gameplay so you get your money's worth. I completely don't believe that. I think as long as you like it, it's worth to spend the money. And if you don't like it, it doesn't matter if it's 10 hours, 2 hours, or whatever. It's just not worth it at the end.
New story quest, new side quests, activities, and outfits. Which, I mean, if we just take that news right there, like 10 to 15 hours of additional content, that alone is pretty exciting. For a DLC, I was only hoping for like maybe a couple hours of new content, but if it's 10
as long as it's better than Starfield's 3 to 4 hours.
15 hours of additional stuff, like we might actually be back. Like this is really exciting. Now the report then continues on to say that details on when the edition and or DLC will be released and its price are still in flux. Still, some sources have suggested that it could be released in 2025 to bolster Warner Brothers Games' diminishing gaming revenue following the weak performance of Suicide.
Oh yeah, this does fit because I talked about this. When you're a company, you and you're publicly exchanged, aka stonks, you want the line go up. But you don't want a line go up like this, or this, or this, or this. These things are bad. And smart companies legitimately try to avoid that at all costs. Because the moment the line goes anything above, this much up, that becomes hard to manage. And considering the line always must go up, next year will be even harder to manage. So as long as you're getting that 1% increase in the revenue, and you can say, oh yes, we're not even touching the surface of our market cap potential on users and whatnot, you're golden. And that's what they want. But Hogwarts Legacy made the graph go like this. Literally best-selling game of a year, okay? Everyone's favorite MILF Gilf, J.K. Rowling, God blessed be her tits, is a billionaire for a reason. And that's why it was the best-selling game of a year, okay? But line go up like this, Warner Brothers did not like that. They looked at that line and said, shit! Well, there goes our next year's bonuses out the window. And now they're going to release that at the same timing to try and at least salvage something. So the line goes up a lot again. And that's their attempt at getting their bonuses.
Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and it's been suggested that the DLC will be between $20 and $30. But I'll talk more about the pricing as well as when this thing is going to get revealed and released in just a bit. Now, the insider report then continues to say Hogwarts Legacy was released at the beginning of 2023, and as of January 2024, it sold over 24 million copies. The game itself is still in the top 10 best-selling games in 2024 in the US, sitting at the number 10 spot. They continued by saying earlier in the year, Warner Brothers Discovery CFO said that a successor to Hogwarts Legacy is, quote, one of the biggest priorities in a couple of years down the road, so there's still a lot of time to wait for those looking forward to a sequel, they said. They concluded the article by saying, as for when the definitive edition / DLC will be announced, it has remained to be seen, but with a potential 2025 release date on the cards, it could be sooner rather than later. So that report had a lot of stuff that we have to unpack. First and foremost, let's talk about the actual content itself. According to the report, they said it's going to have 10 to 15 hours of additional content, which is actually a lot longer than I ever expected it to be. I was thinking something maybe around 3 to 5 hours long for the DLC, but new DLC content that's additional 10 to 15 hours long is actually pretty wild to me. So whatever this new content is,
Dude, they have so much potential with Hogwarts Legacy. It's insane. You know, Hogwarts Legacy 2, honestly, might as well be the exact same story, but from the bad guy's perspective or something like that, and that would sell like hotcakes, okay? Let's be real. If Voldemort turns up, guess who's a Death Eater? That's right, me. And I'm torturing your dumbass. Because, yeah, not being a Death Eater is literally the dumbest thing ever, considering Dumbledore's a literal kook. Okay? It is what it be.
it will be a substantial update to the game worlds. And so
it's not really are you Slytherin or Gryffindor, it's are you a Death Eater or not.
in some ways, I would love for this DLC to be really focused on the horror side of things.
Also, we never talk about the absolute irony that Slytherin is supposed to be kind of fucking evil and bad people, but everyone just is going like Gryffindor or Slytherin, and naturally a whole lot of people get sorted into Slytherin. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Now I know I'm an evil piece of shit, but other people don't know that they're actually methodically evil.
Maybe focus on the Forbidden Forest. Basically, anytime you go into the Forbidden Forest for Hogwarts Legacy, it is definitely a vibe. There's also the Haunted Hogsmeade quest that was incredible, so maybe them leaning more in on the horror side of things would be pretty cool. Now, there's also another thing, and that is the Triwizard Tournament, and I've seen this requested like quite a bit. With Hogwarts Legacy, there obviously wasn't the Triwizard Tournament, but I would love for them to somehow find a way for it to work with Hogwarts Legacy DLC. Like, it would almost be the perfect middle ground. Like, you wouldn't have to continue the story with the main game, as I feel like they did a good job at closing most of the stuff until the sequel. And the Triwizard Tournament also offers a lot of gameplay opportunities. Like, imagine 3 tasks in the world of Hogwarts Legacy. It would just be really sick. I'm almost picturing this DLC.
It doesn't need to be even like that. That's honestly kind of just making it worse. You can just see, you can just find an NPC that says, "Congratulations, not Harry. You're going to be our Triwizard Champion Cup thing and majiggy, dude." And you're like, oh, hell yeah. And then you have the ability to go on like a raft or something, and you get sent off to a completely different map where, you know, you have your Triwizard Cup thing that you need to do, like 1 thing, 2 things, 3 things, like 5, 10 different things, and in between you can do whatever you like until you actually go and do the next part of the cup, and stuff like that. That would be awesome, and that can be its complete own different thing.
Like the Breath of the Wild Master Trials DLC, where the DLC was mainly focused on adding a new game plus, and also adding challenges for players to complete to upgrade their Master Sword. Another thing that the Triwizard Tournament allows is for new students to be roaming around Hogwarts throughout your playthrough. Like, I can already picture the Durmstrang ship that's anchored in the Black Lake. It would look pretty sick. Now, in terms of other kind of DLC we could expect, I've seen a lot of wishful thinking about a Quidditch DLC, which I don't think that's going to happen.
Quidditch is never happening. Stop it. No one likes Quidditch. It's dumb.
Especially since there's a game right now that you could play. It's literally all about Quidditch. I've also seen something about the Chamber of Secrets, which again, I don't think that's going to happen. I think that whatever they do for this definitive edition and the DLC, it will be something that's like contained to this game that doesn't really have any other implications outside of Hogwarts Legacy. I don't think we're going to get a massive setup for the sequel, although there could be some teasers, but for the most part, it'll likely be contained. Now, the definitive edition is also said to have new side quests, new activities, and new outfits. I'm hoping they throw in some mini games that they cut initially. Maybe we could finally get gobstones added, perhaps wizard chest that is playable, and there's just so many other possibilities that I could talk about for hours and hours about what I would love for them to add.
Avacadabra, the lunch lady.
But we also have to consider that this is only going to be a DLC. It's not going to be a full game, and they are still developing another game. So the developers kind of have to navigate the stuff that they're going to add to the DLC versus add to the sequel. So this brings us to the next topic, and that is going to be the pricing for the definitive edition of Hogwarts Legacy. Now, it's worth noting that not only is this a definitive edition that will likely be a full price, but according to the report, it's also going to have a DLC. So my guess is if you already own Hogwarts Legacy, you will have access.
I mean, don't we already know it's gonna be like $30 or $20? Probably more, honestly.
Access to the definitive edition, like updates and features. But if you want to play the new DLC story content, that will cost you within probably $20 to $30, which that's what the report said. And I think that's about right. For 10 to 15 hours of content, I think $20 to $30 makes sense. It'll probably be like $29.99. Like, if you look at Starfield Shattered Space, they released their DLC, which was about 5 to 10 hours long, and that was $30 as well. Now, another thing we have to point out is most likely the standard edition of Hogwarts Legacy will remain at $70, but I think they're probably going to charge for the definitive edition upgrade, especially due to the PlayStation 5 Pro support that's already confirmed to be happening. The PS5 Pro is obviously releasing this year, and Hogwarts Legacy is already confirmed to be supported. Now, it could be that they only charge like an additional $9.99 for PlayStation 5 Pro users, and then the people on PlayStation 5 will just have the Hogwarts Legacy normal edition, but have the opportunity to spend the $20 to $30 for just the DLC. But if you pick up a PS5 Pro and then you buy the definitive edition, that will come with the DLC as well. These Pro consoles and just having multiple different SKUs for consoles is just really confusing. It's super convoluted just in general, but I have a feeling this is what they're going to do with.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid. Okay, what is this? Big reveal trailer. Is there a big reveal trailer?
Keep that in mind. So now let's talk about the fun stuff. When is this Hogwarts Legacy definitive edition going to finally be revealed? There's been
probably sometime, oh no, next year, at the start of the next year. No real point in revealing it before, you know. Well, actually, there is maybe a point in revealing it before the start of the next year. But I guess honestly, this is pretty much whatever. That was Best Nemo 10 out of 10. Bye.